Because we have the Amp Pro, we didn't need to do any of this testing. It's gonna plug in and give us the signal output that we need up front, not back here. Let's do that. Let's go up front, get this Amp Pro plugged in, and we'll take a look at what's coming out of the Amp Pro and why that's a better way to do it. Here we are in the passenger footwell. Right here is the radio. I know, right? Weird. There's two harnesses that we need to get to, and they're not gonna be easy. There's one right here, and there's one right over here. We have to unplug both of those because these ends are going to T-harness into them. They have these little red clips that you can kind of see, and those clips have to come down so that you can squeeze the little terminal here. A pick tool or some form of a pry tool is gonna be the best way to do it. And they're not made to be easy. There's one. You can do it, man. Ah. And there's the other one. I like to plug into the amplifier first. Lock the red clip into place. And our T-harness is in. This end here goes off to the Amp Pro. What you'll notice is this little blue-white wire here is your remote turn on. Plug it in, red light comes on, does a few flashings, turn the car on, we get a red power light. I want to play some pink noise to make sure all the other speakers are still functioning. As I turn up and down the volume, you'll notice this will blink. All the speakers are still playing, which is cool. It's exactly what's supposed to happen. We're gonna take our RTA and plug it into this and see what that looks like. The Sub Pro is actively crossed over. Not gonna be a full frequency output, so you can't just use this to feed into a DSP. It's only gonna be good for a subwoofer. That's why it's called a Sub Pro. But compared to what we saw last time coming out of the factory, as you can see, there's no subsonic filter on this. It's playing all the way down, and it's as close to flat as possible. This is what's coming out of the radio. No EQ, no nothing. Just super sexy output. What we have to check for is whether or not we need to put on dip switch 3, meaning does left and right work. Simple enough to do with the RTA. You can also do it with a digital multimeter. You don't have to have an RTA, you just are looking for voltage on both sides, which I'll show you. RTA, one side, other side. So we're good, we don't have to deal with dip switch 3. We have a left and right output. Not that we really need it, it's a mono amp. I mean, it's not necessary. Let's see what that looks like with a digital multimeter. It's playing static, so almost like a pink noise, but you can see it's fluctuating just a little bit. You can turn the volume down. You can see now it's less. Turn the volume up. This is how you can check to see variable voltage. Go over to the next terminal. It is also giving us voltage output. The last thing you can test if you feel the need to is your remote turn on output here. If for some reason you're like, my amps won't turn on, take your digital multimeter, put it to DC, line with the dots, one end of the probe to ground, the other end into the wire here, and you'll see we get a nice 12.46 volts of output. And that's it. That's all the testing we need to do. Which testing would you like to do? Spend 5 minutes on your laptop trying to figure out if they make an adapter for it, or go through all the testing we just did in the back there? Laptops seem like a way cooler idea for sure. Now, most of these companies do have tech support that you can call, so if there's something you don't understand, like will this work in my car, and you've read them, make sure you read them before you call tech support, because a lot of the times something simple, will this work in my car? Did you see where it said it was an IL5? Then it'll work in your car. Those questions can be answered fairly easily. Fernando has been working on the amplifier, getting that wired up to go in this car the whole time. Let's enjoy watching a nice time lapse of that. Then we'll hop in the car and see how this thing sounds adding in the subwoofer. With the harness plugged into the dash, that leaves us with just this piece left over, which is the ANC bypass, or automatic noise canceling. When adding a subwoofer to a vehicle equipped with ANC, the ANC system will attempt to cancel out the bass frequencies being generated by the aftermarket subwoofer. This will result in unwanted noise being produced by the factory speakers. What happens is it creates this perpetual it just keeps getting louder, and it's the most terrible thing ever. Think of it as noise canceling headphones, but not that cool. To figure out if your car has it or not, most of the time there's locations for the microphones in the doors or the headliner. To use this, access the factory amplifier in the trunk, like we've been working on. Disconnect the 16-pin factory harness. It isn't one that we've been working with, it's the next one up. Unplug it, plug this in, and then plug the amplifier back into it. What this will do is this will take the ANC wire out of the equation. Everything will work the way it's supposed to, it's just going to shut off those microphones and allow you to put in a subwoofer. Let's head into the car. This is the harness they are referring to here. Plug in, plug back in, and you're done. Good job, Fernando. Looking clean. Amplifier's in, subs are in, bass knob is in. It's time to turn it up, put the rubber to the road, see how this thing sounds. Keep in mind you still have to set your gains and do all that fun stuff just like you normally do. And there you have it, bass. Isn't that what they all want, Fernando?
Boom, just like that.
Just like that, it's magical. And with that, Fernando.
On to the next one, guys.
We hope you guys enjoyed this one. We hope you learned something from it. You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you there next time.
Bye.
Bye. Look at that, battery's almost getting ready to die. Woo! Perfect timing. Woohoo, hell yeah.